Do it live.
Yeah. Shalom, shalom. This is GMS Toronto. We're coming back at you with a live lesson. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory
Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Kadash.
This is Matthew chapter 24. One it's up at the top. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. It says, Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world.
So right now we're living in that time where we're in the time of the end of the world, and the Israelites should be paying attention to the signs that are happening, the signs of the rumors of the war, the different type of pestilence. We're having all these type of like eclipses and whatnot going on now, but Jake is not paying attention to the times that they're living in. They're too busy, occupied with the other things of this world.
That's right.
So, and that's why when it says the Lord comes like a thief in the night, you're going to be caught off guard, because leading up to the time of his return, you guys are not paying attention.
Got a precept? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. It says, then answered I, then shall be departing asunder of the time, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth. Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's man afterwards became Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Yeah, so Esau's time is running up. Right now they're running on borrowed time. See? And the Israelites are going to come into power and rule this world. And we're going to rule it under righteousness. Because the way it's being ruled right now is pure wickedness.
That's right.
Because Esau has polluted everything.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. It says, events prior to the Lord's second coming. Now, coming of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushua,
No, come on.
together unto him.
Someone here? Hit him?
That
What?
he be not soon shaken or be troubled, either by spirit or by word or by letter.
Everything today. My youths. Don't worry, summer. What's going on?
For that day shall not come, except their foot falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed this time of perdition.
So that man of sin, a white man.
Your umbrella, take one. Your
umbrella. And right now they're being revealed. They're being revealed through the type of laws that they're trying to push. They're being revealed by the things that they promote and the things that they're okay with. And
sure, it says, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, for that is worship, so that he as a power sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they have done. They've covered the face of the Power Side and put in their own image. And with all this AI technology and these things, like they want to be like the Most High. So they have all the cameras, they want to track it. So they want to be in full control. They want to be like out, but that's not the position. But the Bible speaks about that this is what they're going to be doing in the last time,
Last time, yeah.
the time leading up to Yahweh's return.
Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time.
First Maccabees 3:48. When they opened the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. Their whole Renaissance Christianity. The same thing happened during the Holy Dynasty. Images of Pharaoh and all that shit. So it's the same thing. That's pretty much it.
Back in Matthew 24. Okay, so this is back in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. It says, And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahushua, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet.
Yeah, so that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing a lot of that over there in Ukraine and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Also, now you're hearing a lot of talks about Iran, with Trump telling Iran that they want them to shut down their nuclear power. So basically, Babylon, which is America, they don't want any of these other nations to have nuclear power.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to be the only ones to be able to have that. So
That's right.
this is another sign that shows us that we're in those last days. All these nations are coming up against each other. But it's still not the end, because another big prophecy that has to be fulfilled is the MOTB. And until that prophecy happens, Yahushua is not going to return. So all these are just brewing up to that great battle, which is World War III.
Verse 7, it says, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing this on a daily. We're seeing earthquakes happen all over. I believe last year there was one in New York. These are places that don't normally see this type of disaster, but we're gonna be more normalized. On these other days. Even the other day, I was at work and it was snowing. And I think it was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It was snowing a lot, and I heard thunder.
Oh, yeah, it was freezing rain.
Yeah. Like I personally never heard. Then outside we're snowing / raining and still hearing thunder. So like,
Loudest thunder.
Yeah.
Loud.
like,
And it was a lightning before. The lightning was crazy. It knocked out power for all of Scarborough Town Center. Yeah.
Liberia got affected.
so these are things that we're going to start to see happen more and more often. And once again, they just point to the times that we're living in. Like we're not living in a time of happiness, a time of everyone get together. No, we're going into a time of sorrow, pain, and a lot of death.
About New York, because a lot of the infrastructure for New York infrastructure is still based on the 1800s, so a lot of the buildings, they're not earthquake proof, just like places in Japan, because they're known for having pretty earthquakes, so they cater their infrastructure to resistant earthquakes. You don't see that in New York, because they're so used to not having disasters.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's still like that. That's a good point. Verse 8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall Satan lift him up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and he shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Yeah, so we're coming into that time where we're going to deem the Hebrew Israelites as the bad guys, as the ones who are doubtful.
Go ahead.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
truly the devils and the Israelites. You're the bad guys. We're the ones that are trying to live outside righteousness. They're all the ones that want to live in wickedness.
Uh-huh.
verse 10, it says, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate each other. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
We're seeing a lot of that now, even within the nation of Israel. We're seeing a lot of false prophets. We're seeing you leaders out there that don't want to call on the correct names. They want to call on Christ, JC, just saying simply God. Like those are not names. There's a title.
Titus.
There's a power that has a name.
That's right.
The Father's name is Yahweh, and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai. And you guys are pushing false doctrine. Why do y'all don't want to talk about what the MOTB is? That's what we're talking about the times that was in. It's like when that juice was out, a lot of you leaders were pushing your congregation to take that stuff. And that's going to be just like now when the MOTB comes out. You guys are not talking about it now, and then when it comes out, you're going to be telling your people to take it. And you're going to deceive many. At the end of the day, y'all are false prophets. And the main reason to know you guys are false prophets is because you guys are not calling on the correct name.
This precept for you, going into the false prophet. This is Isaiah chapter 8 and 20, and it says here, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light of them. And they shall pass through it heartily, steadfast, bedstead, hungry, and it shall come to pass that they shall cut themselves. We saw those leaders in Israel. They're telling their congregation to take jam. The same leaders that are going to tell them to take the MOTB. So that shows you they're not prophets. They're actually false prophets because they're not speaking according to the law and the testimony. Nowhere in the law or the testimony it tells you to take the MOTB or to take a jab or to take what these devils are prescribed. So it's all about the law, statutes, commandments, and following the word, which is Yahweh Shai, right? So I'm going back now. You still want to continue back in that verse? Go to verse 12. Okay. Verse 12, it says, the love of many shall not hold, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
That's what we have to do right now. We have to endure. This is not an easy battle. We have to make it to the end. We're going through constant tribulation, a lot of hurdles in order to get to the end. Because we have to prove to the outside that we're worthy. Right? So it's not going to be easy. This was never meant to be. When Yahweh Shai was here, it wasn't easy for him. Even though he was made perfect, he still had to go through many things. He was beaten, he was spat on, he was falsely accused of many things. So just like us, we're gonna have to go through that same fire. We have to go through the fire in order to be purified.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. No man that warreth in tandem with himself with the affairs of his life, that he may please him who has chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man was to strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned with the
We have to be strong. Yahweh Shai is not looking for no weak men. He wants men who are going to stand on this foundation, which is His word, and live by it and believe in it. So that's how we're in war right now. So we have to show that we are worthy to make it into the end, and we have to endure many things.
Yeah, like we didn't get our crown yet, but these guys in the IUIC, they're getting married, they have the crown. That's not, like we didn't get the crown yet.
They got a corruptible one. Let me get this real quick for you. This is John 15 and 20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
Yeah, so we're not greater than all of them. If Yahweh Shai went through it, then what makes you think that that we're not doing. We have to do these things. And that's what a lot of you wacky-tacky Christians don't understand. You feel like bad times are just going to come and you're just going to escape and speak. You have to go through it. We're all going to have to go through Jacob's struggle. The elect are going to make it out on top and make it onto this journey.
Yeah, because Nate's saying he's seen that during more time than Jacob's trouble. You know? So it shows you that he's getting he's receiving his flock, because they want money. I just think remember them saying Jacob's trouble is me. That's what they said. That doctrine is me. They're partying, they have this Passover, they have their wives, they're not even keep the Passover correct.
They're not hastening the gate.
Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And that's what we're doing out here. We're preaching the gospel. We're letting our people know what is to come, and to repent and to get right. And it's happening throughout the There's brothers out there, doing their camps right now and preaching the word, trying to tell our people what's to come. But they don't care. They have no care in the world. They just want to continue on with their Saturday night plans, and just go on with their life.
This is a precept right here. This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. It says, preach the word in instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long-suffering and doctrine. For the time will come that they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers after teaching ears.
That's what you got to be out here. It doesn't matter whether it's cold, whether it's hot. The men of the word are always going to be out here preaching the word, preaching the gospel.
Yeah, it does, and it doesn't matter if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and a brother's awake and there's breaking news. Imagine World War III breaks up. Well, I don't want to make a video. Whatever happens, we got to make videos based on what's going on. You got to be instant about everything. Look, a lot of these other camps, they're living in the past. They're not living up to date. That's why they can't see the MOTV. How can you see the MOTV if you're not current? You're still preaching like you're back at the House of David. We're not back at the House of David, man. To water for those men that did the work and the truth came all the way now, but we're in this time now, man. To water for John, to water for Paul, but we're here now. We're in Babylon. We're in Babylon, and obviously we know through prophecy, through reincarnation, those men are back, but we're not looking back to those men. We're not using those men's time to move. We have to move in Babylon the way we know Babylon is. And only we can give the account of Babylon.
Yeah.
That's why we got the account of Rome from those men.
I was watching the Dallas Brothers, and they were live last night. And they're watching, and the drone is dropping off somewhere in the hot dog. That's the time we're living in.
We're living in the
Like, can you imagine those men and they see those victims? It's like that cartoon adventure. And I remember it.
Like Ezra, when Ezra saw all of that, he's like, what the fuck is that? Oh.
You got speed cameras everywhere.
Huh?
Things are tightening down.
Hey, before the brothers, I never knew what Project Blue Beam was. I had to learn that in the truth. I never just learned it on my own. I learned it being in the truth. I heard of what Project Blue Beam was. I said, wow, I never knew that. I learned about the MOTV. I never knew that.
True.
So we got to teach brothers
True.
accordingly to the time.
This is 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3. It was, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned on the fables.
Yeah, that's because Jake wants to hear what makes him feel good. Once they hear, if it condemns them and requires change, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that they can't sleep with other men's women. They don't want to hear that they can't eat certain foods. They want to hear what makes them feel good. Because when you first come into this truth, you hear it cuts you because you realize what you've been doing and how you've been going on.
Mm-hmm.
But 2/3 of our people they want to hear the smooth talk.
This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 8, and it says, "Now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the word of the law of God, which say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets prophesy not unto us great things, speak unto us smooth things,
Mm-hmm.
prophesy disease."
That's 2/3 of our people. That's good. They want to hear the harsh truth. They rather hear fables. They rather hear things that make them feel good. They don't.
Oh yeah,
Come out of Babylon. They like
No, I was gonna type it. I
They
forgot.
like living under Esau's rulership. They like the way things are right now. That's why you have leaders talking about another 1,000 years. Because they love it here. Whereas, us of the hopeful elect, we hate this country.
Mm-hmm.
We can't wait to get out of here.
I would think that fable is basically like a whole life thing. It's like a tale or like a story of the world. You have a lot of things, even back in ancient Greece, they believed in the ancient gods. Those are all fables of this. Going into like Zeus and Hercules and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather believe that than believe the word. And really, those fables are really based on the word. Really, it is true, because that's where they get the inspiration from.
Exactly.
In 2 Timothy 4, verse 5, it says, "But watch thou in all things, in your afflictions, do the work of an evangelist. Make full proof of thy ministry. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight, and I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love is appearing."
Yeah, so that time isn't now. We haven't, we're not saved from anything. We still have to live through it. A lot of the Christians like to talk about, they accept the Lord into their life and they're saved. We're really saved. We still have to endure things that are to come. We haven't received that crown. It's like the elder was talking about. Right now, we receive a corruptible crown. Do you want that everlasting crown? That crown of righteousness. You personally want to be crowned by Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Not here in Babylon. Not here amongst all this wickedness. It's just polluted. It's vile.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 42. Ezra saw upon the Mount Zion a great people from Umber and all, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful image to think about. To have your Yahweh Shai, personally put a crown on your head. That's inspiring. That should make you want to endure the things of this life now to receive that. Because to me that's just a great image. That's really it really lifts you up.
That's right.
To think about our Savior, taking that time to put crowns on each of his men.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very special feeling. Think of it.
Bring this up.
Okay, and it says, verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, "Sir, what are these?" He answered and said unto me, "These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immoral, and have confessed the name of the Most High thy God. Now are they crowned and will sing songs." Then said I unto the angel, "What young person is that crowned them? And he giveth them crowns in their heads." So he answered and said unto me, "It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world." Then began I greatly to meant them that stood so swiftly for the aid of the Lord.
Yeah, that's the elect. That's what the elect men are doing now. They're confessing the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. That they're believing in their power.
Yeah, they're not calling on Jesus Christ or Christ is King.
The ones that have refused that our temptation, that didn't take that mark. These are the men that Ezra is seeing being crowned by Yahushua. The ones that signed Christ to get up out of this place, enjoy it.
Some of them die.
That was it.
Oh yeah. Sirach 2:1, and it reads, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make no haste in the time of trouble."
Yeah, that's because we're gonna go through a lot of things, while here, while here under Esau's rulership.
Yeah, we're going to lose, because they're going to bring out this whole system, this whole universal basic income, and you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have that biochip in your flesh. So it's going to get very real. Our credit score is going to be very poor. Like, you might have good credit now, but that universal basic income,
You will have no credit.
That's right.
You will have none.
You're gonna wake up this in the toilet. It's gonna scan and say when there's a high amount of this.
Yeah.
That. Social credit score went down. Use up this. We comment on YouTube. 2 points.
you're going to be 8 years, like you're going to be in prison.
Yes.
What's the name of the TV show?
Blackbird.
Blackbird.
Yeah, that happened to Blackbird.
Yeah. Verse 3, "Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end." Verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state."
That's because when you go through, sometimes yes, we're gonna fall down, but we just have to get back up. We have to stay and grab a hold of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and remember the power that we serve. Not like it says, not haste in the time of trouble. Don't get down on yourself. Be like Job. Job went through it. The Lord tested him, took away many things from him, but he stood tall. He never lost faith. He still gave praises unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's how we are going to be now. We're going to go through a lot of stuff. We're going to lose a lot of stuff. Leading up to the time of trouble. We just have to be patient.
We're going to lose everything, actually.
That's right.
Whoever doesn't take the MOT is going to lose everything. There's nothing that you're going to be able to keep. Nothing. Unless you have like a bicycle or a tent.
You might have a tent.
Yeah, a backpack.
Verse 5,
Pilgrims, right?
"For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee in order that way aright, and trust in him."
We're going to go through the fire. In order to come out like that shiny gold, you got to go through it. You got to be, and that's a way of us proving to Yahushai that we're worthy. It's by going through that fire. Not wanting to go back into the world or cursing out the Most High just because we're going through shit. We just have we got to be men in this thing. We can't. Got to be shook. We got to be.
Precept?
No, that was it.
Stop one?
No, that was it.
2 Ezra 7 and 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and one one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go through at once.
Yeah, because this path, to righteousness is very narrow, and because it's so narrow, that's what causes people, to fall off and to go back to the world because it's too difficult for them. They want that broad path, where it's just easy. Like you're saying, there's nothing easy about this walk.
That's right, because we're hoping to be the hopeful elect, the 1%.
Well, it's an analogy, right? Because the Most High is going to put you through your personal test, right? So I can't go with you. We can't go together. There's no way for us to merge and link up and go through the test because the test that we're going to go through is going to be spiritual. It's going to be when you're by yourself. When you were with the brotherhood, I'm not saying we don't go through different tests. When we're on the highways and byways, the shit we've been through on done that's different. But the tests that we really go through are more personal. The Most High literally made them for you. No one else can. It's just like the saying, a man can't walk in my shoes. I can't walk in your shoes. You can't walk in mine. It's made personally for me. Some people listen to the story of Job and they're just like, I would have fell out the tree. I know you would have.
One only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one go through at once.
Yeah, it's something I was just saying, like we all have our own path, so that like says only one to go at a time. That's exactly it, because we each have our own path, in order to make it to the end. We each have our own story, and that's just what we have to do in order to make it onto the end. We can't depend. Yeah, we can lean on other brothers for help, but at the end of the day, we have to do it, by ourselves. We have to go through it. We have to go through it with Hashem outside. So it's only through Him that we can make it.
Yeah, because remember the tribulations that are on both sides, we're gonna fall into that, but we're gonna get out. So some brother, I might come out on the other side, and I'm telling the story, and I'm like, yo, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, and you're gonna be like, what? I do this, but it's different because I might have fell in the fire, you might have fell in the water. Meaning, I might have felt like I was drowning, you might have felt like you were burning. So it's two different experiences, even though we're going through the hell. But our experience is going through hell is going to be different. You know what I mean? Like one brother might be homeless. One brother might have lost his family. One brother might have health issues. You know what I mean? Everybody's experience is going to be different, but it's going to be their own trial that you have to put on.
And that day when hell break loose into this place, we won't be able to call the brothers, the elders to find out what do we do.
Do next.
The says wisdom and knowledge to be stability at that time.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So
It's the Revelation 3 and 10 in the NLT. Because ye have obeyed my commandment to preserve, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the world to test those who belong to this world.
Hey, like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise went through that in that movie where he was running through, people were getting zapped, and by some sort of divine intervention, he was delivered. Go ahead.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah.
Let me get this scripture, for brother.
I go quickly. Hold that fast. Thou hast that movement. So that's now. We have to be praying, unto the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
I want that. That He's going to make us pass over. Yes, that's pretty much it.
This is Isaiah 46:8. Real quick. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to your mind, to you. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors.
Go into that word and got something. That's something if anybody asks. Okay, so this is go into that word trial. You look it up in the Greek, it's pretty much an experiment. Lord is experimenting. He said he experimented with Job. Right? He experimented. You know? He told him, look, you can take away his flock, you can kill his servants, but don't harm him. And then the levels kept getting harder.
Yep.
And then the
Boy,
Lord
it's-
started messing them up. You know?
It's Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. And it says, enter ye, get up the straight gate, and wide is the gate, broad is the way, leading to destruction. And many there go which, and many there be which go in direct.
Hey, why do you think most people join gangs? Why do you think most people join churches? People join groups to feel safe. People feel safe in big groups. When you're in a big group, you feel safe. But big groups are a dumb group. The bigger the group, the dumber the group. Right? So that's why people join groups to feel safe. There's no safety for the brothers, man. You're going to be plucked out. You're going to be tried. When you try, you got to get tried on your own. No, brother, help me. I can't. You're being sifted.
Just going to read in the NLT. It says, you can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and its gate is wide. Yeah, the many who choose that way. So real quick, just to add on what you were saying, because it was the broad way, that's what people like to choose, right? A lot of people tell you that there's different paths to get to the other side. Oh, you could be a Buddhist. It doesn't matter which God you choose. I used to hear that a lot.
Yes.
Coming up. In the late 90s, early 2000s,
Yes,
as a
that's
child,
That's
hearing
right.
that. I used to hear Oprah say that. She had
Oh, yeah.
platform. Spread that message.
Yeah, that's
Bring
right.
people on the show, and then people really believe that.
She was the mother goddess, right?
That's right.
Like what y'all was going through.
Yes, one more verse. It says, but the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it.
Wow.
Matthew 24, verse 26. But of the day and the hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days of Noah, before the flood, they were eating, drinking, and marrying. So these Israelites marrying.
And then, so that's it. The thought that I was finishing in the group, you feel safe because you're looking at the millions of Christians and saying, oh, all these people can't be wrong. All these people can't be. You're looking at your church, you get self-certified or validated. Sorry, you get validated.
Because
You
we're
see
all
many
having
people. Well, yes, all you people are wrong. All you people are losers. Every single one of you. Billions and billions and billions of you, you're all wrong and you're all losers. Yes. When you see a group, a crowd going this way, something should tell you to go this way. Don't follow that group. That group is going the wrong fucking way, man. Like lambs to a slaughter, man. Like lambs to a slaughter.
For as in the day of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking.
Yeah, Caravana, a gay parade,
That's right.
right? Whatever else is coming up, they're getting ready to eat and drink and to party and have fun. Black tidings, summer holidays, reading week, holiday, whatever they do.
2 weeks, we have long weekend Easter.
Easter long weekend. You know what I mean? These are great times. They're great times, right?
Marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
When shit starts to hit the fan, that's when Jake's gonna want to pay attention. That's when Jake's gonna try to remember those names that they heard and try to call upon them. You know, but it could be too late. You know, the Lord may have mercy upon you, or he may be like, nah, like I ain't trying to hear you.
That's right.
Because you know, right now is that time to gravitate toward this truth. Right now is the time to build yourself up for the difficult times that come. But like I said, they want to eat, they want to be married, they want to have fun, they want to party, and then once destruction and woes start to happen, then they don't want to pay attention. But that's what might take a lot of people to learn about how much they are.
Oh, yeah.
Is shit start to happen.
Yeah.
Just like when what happened in 2020 and 2021. It wasn't until people didn't take it seriously.
That's right.
Until it was mainstream news.
That's right.
Until it was made mandatory that you got to do this and you got to do that. It'll be like the same thing.
Then shall two be in the field, and the one shall be taken, and the other left.
Yeah, there's a lot of people they didn't want to take it back, so they said, look, you can't travel,
Mm-hmm.
you can't go to airports,
Mhm.
you can't go to a bar,
Mhm.
certain places, right?
Yep.
You can't do. Your job might get, terminated.
Terminated. Yeah.
Then people are like, oh shit, you know what?
Let me take 3.
Yeah, which they did.
And a lot of them right now, they're dying. They're in the hospital. Then shall two be in the field, and the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, and the one shall be taken, and the other left. So Lord gonna gather like us. He's gonna destroy basically the undesirables of our nation. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come.
Mhm.
That's not about rap videos. The scriptures say, seeking the ancient ones.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to go back to the ancient ones.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have Israelites that are grinding, but they're not going to be saved because they're grinding for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while I was doing this, I had 20,000 views on
Get
video.
card.
You know, I had members,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was on the phone.
Well, know this, that if the good man of the house had known in which and what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken.
Hey, that goes in. You have a lot of guys that are hiding the talents or hiding that money. The hiding that money is going into the MOTV, going into the third world, right? You have these guys, they know about these things. I'm talking about leaders that know that there is an MOTV and you're hiding it. When the Lord comes, that's the first thing he's going to ask. He's going to say, so I gave you the spiritual gift of my name, I gave you the spiritual gift of the MOTVs, the third world, and you never warned anybody, you're going to be destroyed for that. You're going to be destroyed for that. You hid his treasure.
Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as think not the Son of Man cometh. That's pretty much.
Let me get this quick. 2 Ezra 9:1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure not the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. No, going into what happened a few weeks ago in Thailand with the earthquake, with the stock market right now. I think I posted on the video with the guy. He lost 150 million and 230 customers. So you're putting so much trust into this guy. If you're in the truth, then you should know where we are within the it's like
Time?
the time. Yeah, that was one of them.
2 Peter 3:10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and when the heavens shall be passed away with a great noise.
Hey, like we're telling brothers, yo, let's gather up our tithes, let's put all the money together and let's invest in it. There's not to invest in. Your money is not going to be worth shit soon. Any of us can wake up tomorrow and the Canadian dollar could fall to such a point to where it's worthless. The stock market lost over $1 trillion, meaning that money is worthless soon. It's just you people still have confidence in this place. That's all that it is. You people wake up every day with confidence. But really and truly, if everybody woke up today and went to the bank and took out all their money out of the bank, then the society will lose confidence, right? But these people still believe the system is going to work every day. They wake up, they go to their ATM, they feel like money's going to come out. They really feel that way. And hold on, before They don't even see what's going on. I see what's going on in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
You're having less banks with tellers.
Yes.
You have more banks with just a machine. And when you go to the teller, some of them tell you, "Oh, we don't do that anymore. You got to do that online." So they're conditioning you. So okay, go ahead.
Yep.
And because like even when you have certain, you want to withdraw certain amounts, you can't even do that.
Yo,
You gotta like sit
they look at
down.
you like a criminal.
Yeah, because like I
You can only take out like $3 grand a day now.
because I had a coworker who got like a check from work, and he went to the bank and they said, "Yo, you can't even take this money out. You have to go through a whole and like the check was
Process.
issued from the bank."
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, sometimes it makes a week.
yeah,
Clear.
and then you take out, and then if you want to not go to the bank, then they're gonna take out a good chunk out of that just so you can get them.
Yes.
Yes. It's yeah,
It's all
criminals.
corruption.
Corruption.
They deem it suspicious activity if you take out more than $2,000. So
Yes.
$2,000 and up, they deem that as suspicious activity or criminal activity.
Yes.
You committing a
See that?
crime.
Don't cry your own money.
Your own money.
And the element shall melt with
A
fervent heat,
criminal.
and the earth also and the work thereof therein be burnt.
They'll ask you, they'll be like, "Oh, what do you need it for?" You gotta tell them, "Fine,
This,
you gotta actually, you gotta prep yourself.
this
Like,
is
okay,
a
I'm
piece
taking out my
of
money.
shit.
I gotta take out my money there and interrogate you.
What do you mean?
I gotta call them. I gotta call them.
Hey, they did that to that director, Ryan Coogler. He went to the bank and called the cops on it. Called the cops on it.
James 5:1. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries, and I shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankerous. So this is what's going to happen. You see what's going on with the whole stock market right now in New York,
Yes,
the whole New York Stock Exchange.
that's right.
And also, if they crash the system, and this world and America goes bankrupt,
Mhm.
it's going to get severe.
Which the stock exchange is the number one store. You know, everybody talks about Walmart or they talk about Amazon. No, the stock exchange is the number one store.
Mhm.
That's the marketplace.
Mhm.
Cons.
Yeah.
Your riches are corrupted, and the garments are moth-eaten.
Because society, the whole Federal Reserve, fractional
Yeah,
banking,
reserve banking. You're
right?
right.
Just corrupt, man.
Yeah.
It's all corrupt. We're living on usury and debt, and these so-called recessions, they happen every 10 years.
Yes, they do.
Right? You had the last one in 2009.
Yes,
Before that, you had it in 2001.
yes.
Before that, you had it in 1990.
Yep,
And they just keep going.
that's right.
Because it's like a roller coaster. It's a climax and then the downfall.
Sure.
And then you got to pump. What do you got to do? Pump more money. into the economy. Which ultimately, what does that do?
Devalue.
Devalue. Right? That's the cause of inflation.
Your gold and silver is cankerous, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasures together for the last days.
Mhm.
For behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your fields,
Mhm.
who which is of you kept back by fraud, cried, and cried unto them that enter into the ear of the Lord and the Sabbath. So we're being robbed, we're being exploited, with our banks, our wage that we get
Yeah.
every week.
And that's tax. You're getting taxed upon tax.
Yeah.
You're getting tax over tax. On the
Mhm.
tax.
And he-
Hey, you sell your car, you gotta pay.
Yeah,
If
I
you
just
don't-
want to say
if
that
it's not a cash,
every time you sell it to 10 people, they have to pay tax on the vehicle.
That's crazy.
On top of that, he's giving you a credit score.
Yeah.
They actually made it legal to tax you on the wages that you make. But that's not supposed to be,
Mhm.
because really a business is supposed to be taxed.
Yes.
But you are a business in the eyes of the state,
Mhm.
strong.
Mhm.
So legally they can.
Yeah.
That's all twisted, and that's not what society is.
you're corporate.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be earnings. Wages are not supposed to be taxed. Our earnings are supposed to be taxed because we don't make a profit. We're just making what we earned. So that's how you know you're right. They're a bunch of thieves, man. But because we took on the straw man,
Yeah.
they can legally go around that.
And look how much tax all fucked up.
Yeah,
You know, by the time they're somewhat done, it's October. It's cold already.
back again.
Yeah, because these
You know?
people don't know their taxes is to pay off debt.
Try.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's to pay off debt.
You have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanting. You have nourished your heart as they have slaughtered. You have condemned and killed the just and he doth not resist.
Say like a pimp, right? A pimp, I'm taking all your money and then I'm gonna tell you I gotta pay for the hotel, I gotta pay for the ads,
Mhm.
I gotta buy her condoms.
Mhm.
So just like a pimp, I need the money off.
Mhm.
And then by the time the money's divvied up, he's giving her probably maybe $10. So she has to go back to work, which is what they do with us. So we have to go back to work because he only gives you enough to where you're okay to make it till you get back to work. Shut you up, bro, baby.
This is Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. Yet so much and bring a little, you eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but ye are not filled with drink. You clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages, put it into the hole. This is Zechariah chapter 1, verse 11. And this how the inhabitants back then, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled in their league, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil.
Like the Lord ain't working. That's what Jake thinks.
Yeah, no power.
You know, we're just an American dude.
Yes.
Mhm.
Get it how you live. Yeah. You know, they just think this is the life. You know, but this is the lowest condition that man has been. Really.
Yeah.
This is the lowest we've been.
Mhm.
You know?
And Jake lacks vision. You know, that's all they see. You know, they don't see the kingdom. They don't see a day where they could get up and not have to go to work.
That's right.
You know, whereas the elect, that's what we see. You know, that personally that it's motivating. Even though we know we got to get up every day and we got to go to work,
Mhm.
we got to work for these fucking devils. We know at the end of the day there's going to be a time where we're not going to have to do this anymore.
That's
Mhm.
right.
You know, where we're going to have silver.
That's right.
We're
Way
going to have
up
these
on me.
fuckers working for us.
That's right.
So that just goes back to just loving this place, wanting to be there.
It says, therefore their good shall become a booty, and their houses of desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof.
Yeah, but for me, like, you know, I'm in construction, building all these damn homes and houses for these other people, but I can never afford to actually live in one because it's too damn expensive.
That's right. Millions.
Yeah. And it's so fucking small.
In a box.
Yeah.
Verse 14, the great day of Yahweh is near. It is near, hasten greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord Yahweh, and my man shall cry there bitterly. That
And
day,
if you know anything about the majority of the property, they're just shells. You have foreign entities that buy them and lives there.
Mhm.
They just make the price sell.
that's right.
Real life monopoly.
Real life
Yeah.
monopoly. Yeah, real life
I
monopoly.
used to like I used to love to play that game.
Yeah, me too.
Now you understand.
Yeah,
That
right.
the world is just a big monopoly.
And you know, the West, they criticize China for doing that because in China they have something called cities. They build all these condos and high-rise skyscrapers. Nobody is living there. So now they can't just get rid of the condos and bring them down because that would fund the economy too. So it's a catch-22.
That's right.
You either have it, or you don't have it, you suffer
That's
still.
right. Yep.
And then there's people that put down what do you call it? Deposit.
Yeah.
And then they wait 5 years.
Yep.
Maybe more.
Mhm.
And you see it halfway built.
You gotta pay more money.
And you can't pull out. You can't.
No.
You get fined.
Sometimes
Yeah,
they
you
don't
get
even
fined.
finish the project.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get fined.
Because the builder may, go bankrupt. So then the people that are buying it, they just lose their money.
Like the scripture says. The scripture says that when you build without analyzing the cost.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, they say, the scripture also say, he that builds a house other than his money, he lays up his own sepulchre, right? Which is that goes into what, a mortgage,
Yes.
right? A death pledge,
Yep.
right? Majority of people, you don't pay off your mortgage. Even then, you're still paying property tax.
Property tax.
You need a smart. Now you got smart people. 5G and 6G.
This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. It says, where Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, power of armies, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath given.
And that's why now everybody's saying, look, I can never own a house. You start getting that ownership of your money.
Yes.
Which we knew it's not real ownership, but at the end of the day, it's a house, you know. But having your own land, a plot of land, now they want to up and lease it, right? And they're building, right? That's why they're building all these fucking houses.
Well, like it happened in Taiwan, that building, it was almost done. With the earthquake, it collapsed. Done.
Nowhere to escape.
Nope.
Can't escape it too high.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of niggas that's like going to Thailand,
Investing
or
money,
Asia.
yeah.
You know, they're trying to escape Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until a tsunami comes or an earthquake slaughters them.
That whole mortgage system, that's Esau's way of really using usury against you. And then you got to renew your mortgage every
Yes.
5 years,
Yep.
right? Oh, that's variable, you know? And then the percent changes, you get messed up,
It goes up.
locked in, whatever, right?
Property tax.
Mm-hmm.
So you get messed up, but you're supposed to have your own land and then pay for the building materials and build it yourself. You know? So, there it is.
Job 18 and 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle. That's the secret society that run this world that they call the Illuminati, like which we're the illuminated ones. You damn devils aren't the real illuminated. Like you guys are illuminated on the dark hand, on the dark side. The light shall be dark in the tabernacle, and his candle also shall be put out with him. The step of his strength shall be strengthened, and his counsel shall be cast him down, for he is cast into a net by his own feet. They're going to chip her, right? But basically, you're going to be in a snare, because the Lord is going to come, and because they know that the angels are monitoring. They have the UFOs and stuff. There's all these sightings and stuff. So they know that there's extraterrestrials,
Oh yeah.
you know, who's who's monitoring the earth. For it's cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon the snare. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid in the ground, and the trap for him in the way. But remember, it said, the end of the world, Jacob is victim to that morning. So we're going to see their downfall, because they feel like, okay, that they're going to have the world unlocked.
We're witnessing it right now.
It's happening.
Yeah, we're witnessing his downfall now. You just have to know what you're looking for.
Terror shall make him afraid on every side.
Hey, because remember, the scriptures never said that this kingdom was going to go down right away. It was going to go down in stages. It had to go down in stages because how could they implement the MOTB? There would be things that would be happening. And it tells you there'll be rumors of war. You got to go to Matthew's, what is that, 24? That's stages, man. There will be earthquake in diverse places. And then it tells you that man should be lovers of themselves. So it's letting you know things are going to happen before. And it even says, and the end is not yet.
It's like when you're going to this nation, it's route number whatever, 500 miles, right? City, 300 miles. You're going, you're driving, and then you see certain signs.
Are we there yet?
You know, the next gas stop, whatever.
Are we there yet?
That's when you get to the destination, right? So we're living through the sign after sign after sign.
Yep.
You know, which we're about to enter the
No, go ahead.
final phase, man. As they say, the final countdown. Right?
And shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitter, and destruction shall be red at the side. It shall devour the strength of his skin. The firstborn of death shall devour his strength. The firstborn of death be our side. Right? He's the one that destroyed Egypt, right? You know, like with the plagues in ancient Egypt. And he's gonna do the same thing in this modern day Egypt that we live in. His confidence shall be ruled out of his tabernacle, and shall drive him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up.
Hey, do you know what type of strike it is to cut off every firstborn child or son? That's a surgical strike. So it's going to be the same thing here, right? When the angels are cutting off people of Israel, cutting off the heathen, cutting off, it's going to be a surgical strike. Right? Surgical.
It shall be dried up beneath him, and above shall and the shall be dried.
Yeah, let me get this. James 1 and 2. And it reads, my brethren, count it all joys when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith work patience, but let patience have a perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. When you come to this truth, you have to be patient. The brother read it on Matthew 24, right? So it's a long run. It's not like overnight thing when it comes to this truth, right?
Because it's not like a 100-meter dash race. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. It requires endurance. You have to be able to run for a long period of time. So just like in this truth, you have to be able to go through many things. It's not going to just be quick. Yes, you're going to get tired, but you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing until we make it onto the end. That's right. And that requires patience. But a lot of Jakes out here are losing patience. Because things are not happening on their watch, and because of that, they tend to fall out and not truly believe and not pay attention to the signs that are happening, because they're not happening all at once. Like Elder said, it's going to happen in stages.
Second Ezra 16, 57. Behold, plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringing forth her son, and with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child come forth, they slack not.
Yeah, one of the major signs was World War II, because remember it says after the second war, then the bigger sign, then that is the MOTB, which we're here. Yes. We're here. I don't think we understand what we're watching when we're watching the stock market fall, because the question then is what's going to stop it from falling more? What? The only thing that they can use to heal Babylon at this time is going to be the MOTB, which is not going to really heal Babylon. That's only preparing Babylon for the great destruction. But it's going to be a false sense of hope. There's always a false sense of hope, always, until the Most High literally crushes your dreams and your hopes.
Even so shall not.
Hey, even the money we're using now was a false sense of hope, because you people don't even know about money that was backed by gold and silver. So the money we have now was a false sense of hope. They lied, and look what that lie is doing now. It actually destroyed you as a people, because now people are unable to actually prosper, because the money that we have is not real. So imagine what's going to happen with the MOTB, man. You're going to lose everything, man.
Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Yeah, because Esau is The Most High has put Esau in such a position that the only thing he could do from now on is push the MOTB. There's no saying, oh shoot, we got to make a U-turn. We got to double back. No, we're here. You people are losing your jobs. It's being taken over by AI and robots. And then the only thing left now is for you to lose everything. 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 And when I say everything, I mean everything. You have to lose your home. You have to lose your jobs. Everything. You people have to be destroyed. And then by then, it's going to be too late. Because another way Esau, right, the elites have tricked you, is they set up black versus white. First, they use the white, then they use the black, meaning that you so-called white people, you think that Trudeau, not Trudeau, Donald Trump is for you. Then, after Canada, they put in Justin Trudeau for liberals, for women, for blacks, for homosexuals. Now, the real strong conservative whites, now they're mad. Oh, we need to take our country back. And you don't have a country, you retard. It's just a white and black dynamic, red and blue dynamic. They're using the same game. It's just a big fucking game. It's just a psyop.
Every day is a psyop.
It's just a big psyop.
Oh my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrim upon the earth.
Yeah, just like George Bush was in the daycare, in grade 1 class or whatever. The dude, you know,
Whispering.
That's all the game. And then we got to go into Iraq, right?
Yeah.
But I thought it was the Saudis with that gang.
That's right.
Why are we going to Iraq?
That's right.
We got to find WMDs.
Yeah.
Why did you go look for Ben Laden and all that?
It's a big psyop. You know, World War I was a psyop. World War II
Was a psyop. That's right.
These are all games that the Illuminati, the luminaries, they play.
Yeah, that's right. And then by the time it's time for you white people to find out that you're truly just a slave along with the black man, it's going to be too late. When you're going to find out that you're on the same level as these people when you guys all get chipped. Because there's not going to be no more black and white in that day. There's not going to be no more gay. All you people are going to be all one world religion, one world government. There won't be no separation. You're going to find out that was all a big game. You women are going to find out there's no such thing as a gender war. It was all a game.
He that selleth, let him be
And there was no real mass, you know what. That was all a game to take away your arms. You're gonna all find out at the end of the day, I really believed in this, I really believed in that, and none of it exists. Just boogeymen, all made up.
Just like with the jab, you know, they made people think that if he didn't get it, he was gonna die.
Yeah,
And then the ones of us that didn't get it, we're still here.
God.
So it's gonna be the same thing in that time. You're gonna get it, then you're gonna figure out what it was all about. It's gonna be too late for you by that time.
Even this money, this is just witchcraft. Like brother said, it's out of thin air, right? It's all witchcraft. You have governments around the world, right, believing in the standard of the American dollar, right? The American dollar was king at the time, you know, and that's witchcraft, right?
He that selleth,
My
let him
youth.
be as
I want to hide the goods, you
he
know.
that selleth, let him be as he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away.
Yeah, so that mindset, right? Like brothers have, you know, their own endeavors in the world. Some brothers have businesses and whatnot. But your mindset is when what the brother Howard said, the stock market crashes, you're not gonna panic, you're not gonna bug out, you know, you're not gonna go crazy. You're gonna know what time it is.
Wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability, right? No time. And he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupy merchandise as he that have no profit in buying. And he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as he that should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard, and he that shall not gather the grapes.
So what's IUIC talking about building? If we're living in a time of the downfall, if we're living in a time of losing, what are we building? And I don't even mean to bring them up, but I'm just talking about the mindset that we're teaching brethren to have.
They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widows. So we're not supposed to be having those 8 weddings and all that stuff. And therefore, they that labor in vain.
You see? Let me tell you, that's one of the biggest truths that the brother just brought out. The people that lost 115 million. All those people, guess what they did for their whole life? They labored in vain.
So like some shit's about to pick up, it could happen this month or next month.
Just like the Great Depression. In the time of the Great Depression, you know what happened to most of the bankers and the top guys? They killed themselves. They deleted themselves. They committed suicide. So don't be surprised if you start to hear about a lot of suicides, right?
It's happening right now. A lot of people they're killing their children, their wife, and they're killing themselves.
Hey, like the guy from Fargo.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like they live with the woman,
yeah.
and the woman bugs them out, man.
Okay, that's
Your
just
brother just bought the nice washer, and you don't have nothing. Yo, that lady was annoying though. I hate her. Yeah.
You're not a man.
You're not a real man.
For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods and overthrow their houses and take their children captive. So these people it's going to be the real person.
Yes.
For in captivity and in famine shall they get children, and they that occupy their rich property, they the more they let their cities, their houses, their possession, and their own person, the more will I be angry with them, for they have sinned. So these Israelites, that's we're talking about, who's saying king to the building and all this shit, and acting like they're on high. They act like they're in the kingdom right now. But the Lord is gonna get them. The more will I be angry with them for their sins, said the Lord.
Hey, but they are in the kingdom. They're in their own kingdom. That's why I was telling you about groups, right? There's the majority of our people on the side, our followers, they don't know what it means to be a man. And to be a man really means to be separate, right? That's what we learn. Yes, we link up and we love linking up with the brothers, but to be a real man, you're going to love isolation. You're going to be isolated a lot. That's just manhood, man. Solitude, right? Like the game Solitaire. You play by yourself. You're in solitude, or a soldier, right? You're not meant to be linking up with groups all the time, right?
They can
Going out every weekend.
No.
Restaurants, taking pics.
Yeah,
This is
fine.
Don't follow
Go ahead,
multitude.
go ahead.
Yeah, not like going to Mexico. Second Timothy 2:3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and that no man that war entangleth himself with the affairs of this life.
Yeah, because then you depend on the group. See, when you depend on the group is when you lose your dependence on Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai.
You're just there for hanging out.
That's it.
What would you?
You only feel alive in the group, which
That
that's
guy-
partial of it,
Yeah, it is.
you know.
That guy, what are you doing? Just hanging out.
Just hanging around. Hey, but that's how most members of IUIC is. That's why sometimes we'll just leave you brothers, and you brothers are doing the video. You're doing your own thing because you're men. You're men as well, and this is not gotta wait for Elder Jeremiah. Gotta wait for the Elder Ottawa. No, get up. You brothers are masters as well, man.
That he may please him who have chosen him to
You don't
be a
know when the
soldier.
Spirit's on you? You guys, that's why solitude is so good. You have to know when the Holy Spirit's on you. You don't know when the Holy Spirit is telling you make a video. You don't know when the Holy Spirit is telling you don't say that. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't say that. Why not? Is the Holy Spirit on you or not?
Mhm.
The Holy Spirit's going to compel you to speak righteousness, man. When you're around a group too long, like IUIC, I could just imagine their chatter. Their chatter is probably always about bullshit
Mhm.
because it's not righteous talk. Because they're not operating on that level. Because if they were, they would be talking about the MOTE. They would be talking about the Hebrew.
Mhm.
What's the Lord's name? You wouldn't even feel comfortable saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Because the whole world says Jesus.
That's right.
So why would I then want to say Jesus? I walk down the street, an Asian, hey, Jesus, Moab, Jesus, this Jesus. Why wouldn't I want a name that nobody's saying? The world is not saying Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's a good thing.
The scriptures.
You got flamers. You got rainbow flags saying Jesus. Why would I want to say Jesus with a
Mhm.
rainbow flag?
It says, don't follow the multitude to do evil.
So that's a secret the Lord gave you. That name Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, that's the most secret that the men of the Lord have.
Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days the perilous time shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own self,
See, last days, plural, meaning that, like we were mentioning, it's gonna be in increments.
Mhm.
Oh, I think I don't know if you're gonna say, but you just opened my mind to the seventh trump, this trump. So that proves it as well, right? And then it says at the last trump, so which is the seventh. So we know it's in stages, man. So it's in stages.
It's described as a birthday.
That's right.
Birthday.
That's right.
Mhm.
We always go into that in different stages. Right? Sometimes it's screaming and then it eases. Each time she screams, those complete times they diminish. So it goes to the point where there's no easy time. It's just let's go. We're about to head into that time. Let's go. Right? Plague after plague after plague. Like it says in Second Ezra, right? It says plague shall come after another and shall not be slack. Right? And you can't turn it back.
And I watched that. I watched the woman give birth. That shit is scary, yo. That shit is scary, yo.
For men shall be lovers of their own self,
Mhm.
covetous, boastful, proud, blasphemous, disobedient, parent.
Yeah, this has been slowly progressing since you could say the so-called cultural revolutions. You know, into what you had in the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
You know, all the bad kids, the rudeness, the adultery, the friendships breaking up. But right now is that real time, that climax. You know, because nobody's really getting along. You know, you have women you see on TikTok who make a video about friends she didn't buy me a birthday gift. I bought her this, that for her last birthday.
I know somebody that happened
child,
to.
you were childhood friends.
Yo, I know somebody that happened to. Maybe it's the same person.
That was on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All these bitches are on TikTok. Yo, a childhood friend. They're not friends no more because of that situation. It's crazy.
Unthankful, unholy, without natural affection.
Yeah, natural affection. Your so-called human kindness or decency. Right? People are just degenerates, man. They're animals.
That's right.
They're at their most base nature. You know, you cut them off, they're ready to go to jail.
Mhm.
Truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers.
Yeah, incontinent. Right? They're like pretty much you can't withhold. Like how they say my inner thoughts are free. You know. So people can't hold back their inner thoughts now. So they're doing things that they would not regularly do.
Mhm.
You know. So that means what? This civil order is dissipating.
That's right.
Every day. All right. That's why you'll hear crazy stories. You know, this, that, this,
Mhm.
and it's just going to get worse, right? What's big right now is what? Mental health, right? Talking about mental health because these people are nutcases, man. You know, they're a bunch of nut jobs.
It says, disobedient. Sorry, it says, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than the lovers of the hour, having a form of godliness, right? So this is guys that what's his name, Nate,
Nate.
going to
Mhm.
Kenya to set up these churches and and he's making a name for himself.
Yeah.
Like he's like a righteous guy who's called on Jesus Christ. Christ is king and all that bullshit. And he knew the name of the Lord. Like back in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, but he hasn't graduated yet. Because the only thing, they're still, the white man, the white man, the white man. The white man, the white man, the white man. That's it. The white man is the devil.
That's right.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's it. Nothing edification, nothing deep. No true lessons, man. No real breakdowns.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. For from such turn away. For this short are they which creep into houses and led captive silly women, laden with sins, and led away with diverse lusts. Even ever learning and never able to come to a knowledge of the truth. Breaking all kinds of stuff and like soon those guys are going to be exposed. They're making a documentary. Oh yeah. Okay. I messaged him on Instagram. I said, "What happened?" Yeah. Nathan? Yeah. And you guys can't wait till the documentary comes out.
Documentary.
You see what happened with that guy on the safari, and he got exposed. So soon Nate's gonna get exposed soon.
I wanted to bring this up because that's what you before we go mention about he has pilgrims. Right? So I typed in ChatGPT, is a pilgrim's life easy? And it says a pilgrim's life is generally not easy. Pilgrims often leave behind their homes, comforts, and sometimes even their families to undertake long, challenging journeys for spiritual or religious reasons. The hardships they face can include long distances on foot, harsh weather, limited food and shelter, unfamiliar or dangerous terrain, emotional and physical exhaustion. It says, but despite the difficulty, many pilgrims find deep purpose, spiritual fulfillment, and personal growth in the experience. It's a tough life, but often meaningful. Right? That's ChatGPT. That's the time of evolution. Long distances on foot, harsh weather, limited food, right? Physical and emotional exhaustion.
What's the name of that movie? The guy has a little girl.
Is it the road?
There you go.
Or like Book of Eli, that was
Mhm.
a pilgrim too. He just walking, and a pilgrim goes from place to place. He doesn't stay there. In that time, you're gonna have drone warfare. You're gonna have drones. You're gonna get look around. You're gonna have dogs, robot dogs. Right?
Job 5 and 22. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with you. So, some brothers are going to be pilgrims.
Living off the land.
And thou also know that thy hamlet shall be in peace, and thou shalt be thy habitation.
And we don't know how we're going to make it. Just like we didn't know how we were going to make it out of Egypt. Right? We didn't know how we were going to survive, but we did. So same thing. We don't know how. We don't know when we're going to eat, how we're going to eat, but we know we're going to eat.
This is Matthew 19:28. The Abishai said unto them, verily I say unto you, he which will follow me will be in vision, and the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory. He also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or land, for my name's sake shall receive comfort, and shall inherit life. Just going into the point, like the pilgrim, it's hard, it's rewarding at the very end, especially if it's for a righteous cause. And it may seem like you're losing now, but when you're fighting for it, you're striving for it, it's going to be good vengeance in the future. And incorruptible ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
That's right.
That was it.
I have Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, and went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him. So just like how we were talking about with the stages and the labor pains that a woman has, this is also describing it. It's just one thing after the other, and it's going to speed up. It's like when a woman is giving birth to a child, it starts off slow, and then it stops, and then it's slow, and then it stops, and then it just rapidly begins, and that's because the child is getting ready to come out.
That's right.
That's going to be like leading up to the time of the Yahweh's return. There's going to be many things going on. Backing up to what we're saying about being pilgrims, we're going to be out here. There's going to be no escape, and the only way we're going to ultimately get through these things is through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on a wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So this is going to be a very sorrowful, dark time. This is not a time of peace. Like it says, the Lord is not coming back to send peace upon this place, but to bring a sword. That's the times that we're living in. And that's what Jacob has to realize. And, they've been warning. And that just shows how Jacob's trouble is. It's going to be a time never seen before. And how, like the other was saying, like we don't know how we're going to be sheltered in that time. We don't know how we're going to eat. We don't know how we're going to get from point A to point B.
We don't.
But it's through the faith and the stability in this word that we believe we're gonna make it out on top, no matter what. And it's that confidence through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and that's what the world's gonna lack. And that's why the world's going to run and gravitate toward this MOTB. They're not going to see any other way out of it.
No.
Whereas we know that the Lord has us. And, we're going to lose everything, but, we're going to gain it all. And we're going to gain even more, within the kingdom.
Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. It says, at that time, I will stand up, great prince, standing for the children of thy people. There shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since the days of Egypt, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame. And some to shame and everlasting contempt. That's your point, right? And there's going to be a great deliverance, and the archangels are going to have to intervene. That's what you call divine intervention. So this is not going to be by our doing; it's going to be by the Lord. That's why Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time, and restrained by salvation. Right. So that's what's going to keep you in those times. That fear also going into that wisdom, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Those things are going to keep you settled. That's how the angels are going to encamp at the roundabout.
Mm-hmm.
You got to fear the Lord first. This is back in,
because we don't know how they're going to do it. We don't know if there is going to be martial law, which there should be. We don't know if there's going to be, like it says, a body crisis. So we don't know if people from Mississauga are going to be able to go to Toronto to here, and we don't know how they're going to happen. We just know it's going to be judgment, right? We don't know if some of the ghettos are going to be completely abandoned. They could abandoned some areas, man.
Remember, like New York City was the island.
Huh?
That the 5 boroughs.
Yeah. And all they gotta do is they shoot the bridges. Can't go nowhere. You're stuck.
Okay, this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 15. I shall start at 14. And it says, "And it shall be as the chase robe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished." All during the time of Jacob's trouble. That's going to happen. Going into what the elders said of Polycrite. Because there's going to be many things happening during the time of Jacob's trouble. You're going to have the ships coming back. You're going to have the ICBM, all these wars, martial law, all those things. And a lot of terrible things are going to happen, like your wives being ravished. A lot of women are going to get raped. A lot of people are going to lose their wives. Even men are going to get raped.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
This is 1 Peter 4:18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Right? Because really and truly, the righteous are scarcely going to be saved. It's not like the Heavenly Father, through His Son Yahushua, has a place set up for them to where it's just like, okay, go to Scarborough, go to Brampton, and take 10 steps, make a left, and then go down the stairs. No, there's nowhere for us, man. Nowhere.
Second, Hebrews 11 and 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he knoweth, but without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that He is, and that He is the rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. So we're gonna rely on faith the elect. It's gonna get very real. We're gonna be trying. The Lord is gonna protect His elect. Even though some of our people are gonna be martyrs, and be persecuted, but our people are gonna be persecuted for the Lord's sake.
Right? And the faith that we have is of the men that came before us. Right? That's why a lot of these things are good to read, man, the history. So you know what men before you and how the Lord did deliver them. And really and truly, we're in the greatest time because we're at the end of the thing. So Esau's gonna try to, like they say, throw the whole kitchen sink at you, right? Esau's just throwing everything at us right now because he knows we're almost at the finish line. So if you're almost at the finish line, why would you want to give up now? Don't give up now. Keep going, right?
And that's because people are gonna want to give because they don't realize the signs.
True.
We see the signs, so we realize, okay, we're getting to the end. So why give up now? Why cave in when you're almost there? It doesn't make any sense.
It's like that's why they keep pushing 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Right? If you have 1,000 years left, then there's no sense of urgency. You got time.
By faith, Noah, being warned of Yahweh of things that did not seem as yet, moved with fear and prepared an ark to save his house. For by the which condemned the world became heirs of righteousness, which is by faith.
And that faith, too, is only going to be from them that actually want to see this place destroyed. A lot of people are going to get exposed, right? Like Lot's wife. Lot's wife really and truly didn't want Sodom and Gomorrah to be destroyed. That's why she looked back. So we're going to find out who really wants this place to be destroyed, because you're going to end up mourning for this place. When this place actually starts to go through the destruction, a lot of people are gonna be upset because you love this place. This place is your home. It's your dream.
2 Peter 2:5, and spare not the whole world, but save Noah, the eighth person, nature of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly.
Hey, why do you think Samson did what he did? Samson killed his enemies, knowing that he was going to be the leader of this world. He wants everything to come crumbling down. That's why people are always asking him, "What about you? If the world's going to be destroyed, what about you?" Don't worry about me. I'm just happy that you're going down. Don't worry about me. You're going down, and you'll never come back into power. That's the beauty of it. Oh, well, are you gonna make? Who cares if I make it? You're going down, bitch.
Or turn the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah.
I'm waking up in the kingdom. Are you waking up in the kingdom? You're waking up in the slavery.
Or turn the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Every Israelite that dies from now going on is waking up in the kingdom. You die from now on. This is time of the kingdom, man. Every Edomite that dies is waking up in captivity. So even if an Edomite you know, like, damn, like the queen, she just died. She's waking up in slavery. Welcome back.
Yeah, like Meyer Amchal.
Welcome back.
Rothschild.
And the spirit's gonna know. It's gonna know, oh yeah, the queen's coming back. She's on her way. Listen.
Turn the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes.
We're gonna kick the ass of the person who's gonna give birth to you. So you're gonna have a rough time in the womb. It's gonna be rough for you, man. Yeah, somebody waiting for you to come out the womb, man.
Condemning them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after.
That baby's gonna fall in shit. Because in that day, you're not gonna be laying on your back. You're gonna stand up, give birth. So you're gonna fall right in shit as soon as you're born, in shit.
Sorry. And deliver just lot vexed the filthy conversation of the wicked.
Could you imagine how royals are born right now? Like these little princes. Could you imagine all the nurses around them making sure they're good, making sure they're okay? The best doctors. Won't be like that. Won't be like that.
Aromatherapy.
Oh man, nice lights. You know, there's music playing. Yeah, Beethoven. Yeah.
For the righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and
Whose soul is not vexed. Enough people's soul is not vexed, man. Right? So, because even like the brothers made the order, like, yo, cut out the going out. But even in going out, you just see a lot of lesbianism, man. You just see a lot of lesbians. You see the women grinding on each other. They're there to get a woman. You go talk to them. Yo, that's my woman. Who? That's your woman. What?
For the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation and to preserve the unjust in their judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh and the lust of uncleanness despise government. So presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignity. That's like these guys are people. You know, they're into the alternative life. That whole thing with I believe like Church Howard.
Oh yeah.
That thing with Diddy and shit. He said that he wasn't down.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
They're all involved in all kinds of wicked crimes.
The guy that they want to put as premier or whatever.
Yeah.
People are calling him out for his misdeeds. Fine.
Yeah, I got something. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15. Sorry, verse 14. It says, knowing that he who raised up Lord Hamashiach, Yahushua, shall raise up also by Yahushua and shall present us with you. All things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might be thanksgiving may abound to the glory of the Most High. Which cause we faint not.
Yeah, break it down.
Okay, so really, I wanted to point in verse 16. It says, "For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day." We know it goes back to Job, you know how it says, "The Lord slays me, but I'll still keep my faith in Him." Roughly paraphrasing.
Yeah, fine.
That's how we live. You know, even though it looks like we're doing terrible, because sometimes the flesh doesn't show how good we are in the spirit. Because we catch hell, we go through things, and we're not of high rank in this society. So it looks like we're perishing all the time, like we're nobodies. But we're being renewed day by day. So that comes with the eternal truth, the scriptures, the Lord quickening us, and also Yahushua being the comforting us in our captivity, the word. Verse
Hey, and
17.
there's the saying, good times make weak men, and hard times make strong men. So both sides actually trying to make us strong, right? Like if we were partying like IUIC and these guys, if we were just eating lettuce, we wouldn't be prepared for what's coming, right? We wouldn't be prepared. Imagine we're just in the truth and every day's a party. Yo, hey brother, Sabbath is done. Hey, let's link up, let's go do this. If every day is just a party, we're not gonna be in a serious mind. I'm not saying once in a while we don't drink and but if we did that every day, we wouldn't be serious, man. We wouldn't be pissed the fuck off. And being pissed off makes you want to get up. You're not happy in jail. I've been in jail. You're not happy in there. You're just thinking about when I'm coming out, man. When am I leaving out here, man? Oh, I just want to extend my stay. Like, what?
There's a scripture, Samuel, it says, mighty men and King David were chafed in their minds as a bear robbed of her whelps. Paraphrasing. Right? So the men of the Lord are in that spirit of, being angry and pissed off. A vexed filthy conversation in this room. We don't want to continue on in this, right? Christians' conscience. So it's better to be in the house of mourning than the house of feasting.
That's right. Yep.
Verse 17, it says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen." And that's what Elder Panama went into with faith, right? Going into Hebrews the 11th chapter. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Right? So it's all about being faith-based while being on this walk. Even though it may look like you're perishing, you're going to have faith to Hamashiach Yahushua that you're going to get through. You're going to be a part of that crowning, right? You're going to be chosen, not just called. You're going to be chosen.
I remember the IOIC, they're mocking, saying, "Oh, that we're faith-based Israelites."
Hey, and that's the power as well of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to where even you might feel like you're done, and then out of nowhere he just gives you that life. Right? He gives you that Mario mushroom.
He says, bring it down to the grave.
Yeah, that's right, bro.
It says, which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right, that was it.
And it says faith, like it says faith is the substance. Right? Substance is material. Right? Even though you can't see it.
It's there.
But it's the substance. That means it should keep you through things. I just have some real quick. This is Job 7 and 11 in the NLT. This is Job, right? He's the elders catching. It says, I cannot keep from speaking. I must express my anguish. My bitter soul must complain. Am I a sea monster or a dragon that you must place me under guard? I think my bed will comfort me, and sleep will ease my miseries. But then shatter me with dreams and terrify me with visions. That's true, because a lot of men, they go through spiritual anguish. The Lord really turned, he really, touches those nerves, man. Tries you like an experiment.
And that's ever happened to you, because that's depression. You ever been so depressed that you just have to just lay down? You're just inside your bed. That's a form of depression. Yeah.
It says, verse 16, I hate my life and don't want to go on living. there's a brother. Yeah, the cat.
Oh, yeah.
It says, I would rather be strangled, rather die than suffer like this. I hate my life and don't want to go on living.
Isn't that what Paul said?
It says, oh, leave me alone for my few remaining
So
days.
all these guys that went back in the world complaining, they don't know the truth. They don't know the scriptures. Because you're going to go through that, man.
Yeah, the Lord's going to try you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he doesn't do it physically, he'll do it spiritually. You know?
We all get tried different ways.
And the
That's
Lord
right.
will try you at your strongest.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're strong physically, he'll get you illness.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're just bedridden. You know? You're used to lifting and weight and pumping, and now you're just bedridden.
Now you fucked up.
You know? It says, oh, leave me alone for my few remaining days. What are people that you should make so much of us? That you should think of us so often? For you examine us every morning and test us every moment. Why won't you leave me alone? At least long enough for me to swallow. That's a great.
Oh, shit.
It says, if I have sinned, what have I done to you? O watcher of all humanity, why make me your target? Am I a burden to you? Why not just forgive my sin
Mm-hmm.
and take away my guilt? For soon I will lie down in the dust and die. When you look for me, I will be gone.
Wow.
You know? I mean, that's very mirror-like of the men of the Lord.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
face
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
their life.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there.
Yeah, you could be in the walk, in the truth, coming in truth. You know, 2, 3, 4 years in, 5 years in, everything's good. Pumping out your videos, getting your money, things are just nice, right? And then 6
You're
years in,
cruising.
7 years in, you start losing.
Yes.
You know, you're catching it. You know, you're having one-on-one prayers with the Most High. You're crying tears.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going through it, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the Lord encouraging you.
Yep.
Hey, everything your hand touched the year before, blessed.
Yeah.
Nothing's going well now. Nothing. Yeah. Everything is an L.
Yeah.
Yo, the only thing that goes well is a drink. That's it. That's a damn drink. Yo, going through bottles of wine.
There's times where, like, every time you feel like you're about to get ahead, some shit happens.
Yep.
You take
Yes.
five
Yep.
steps back.
Mhm.
And you know, that's
Yeah.
that's also a way the Lord is showing us to never get comfortable in this place.
That's right.
That's so true.
Because
Mhm.
you gotta constantly go through it. Like, and I find, you know, personally myself going through that. Like I said, like, should be just good. You know, I'm trying to get ahead, you know, and then you just get slapped with something. But then, you know, you get comfort in the spirit because you understand it. You understand what you're going through. So, you know, you don't get too down on yourself. You just
Mhm.
realize, okay, keep pushing,
Yeah, which is
keep
like,
enduring.
slow down, my boy.
You know,
In Matthew,
Let me get. Oh, go ahead.
Matthew 11:28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your soul.
Exactly. You see the difference? It's rest unto your soul. Because you have to remember, in this world, we could have had rest financially, but we never had rest for the soul. And you can ask any rich J, they never had rest of the soul, even though they had everything and they still felt empty.
Yeah, the blues.
They had the blues.
So we be singing out, you know, all the good.
For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
Yep. That's right.
Oh yeah. 2 Peter 3:6. Going into destruction of this place because one time was destroyed by water, and this time is going to be by nuclear fire. And the reason I'm bringing this up because a lot of people don't believe that, right? And it reads in NLT, then he used the water to destroy the ancient world with mighty flood. Verse 7, and by the same word, the present heavens and the earth have been stored up for fire, going to the nuclear missiles, the ICBM missiles. They are being kept for the day of judgment when ungodly people will be destroyed. Verse 8. But you must not forget this one thing. A day like 1,000 years to the Lord Yahweh, and 1,000 years like a day. But the Lord Yahweh isn't really being slow about his promise. As some people think, no, he is being patient for your sake. He does not want anyone to be destroyed, but wants everyone to repent. Yeah, that was it.
Job 30 and 15 in the NLT. This is after Job. This is really he's speaking about now because verse 1 goes into Esau going in the cave, right? So he's prophesying about Esau as well. But I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, I live in terror now. My honor has blown away in the wind, and my prosperity has vanished like a cloud.
Yeah.
And now my life seeps away. Depression haunts my days. At night, my bones are filled with pain, which gnaws at me relentlessly. With a strong hand, the Most High grabs my shirt, grips me by the collar of my coat. He has thrown to the mud. I'm nothing more than dust and ashes.
And meaning that nothing you come up with is going to get you out of the power of the hands of the Most High, right? You're just stuck, right? Like I always mention, being under the dark cloud. Like in cartoons, they put the person under the dark cloud. If they go left, right, doesn't matter where, the dark cloud is there. That's the Most High having us, man. Sure.
It says, I cry to you, O Most High, but you don't answer. I stand before you, but you don't even look. You have become cruel toward me. You use your power to persecute me.
Yeah, you said I cry to the Most High, and you don't answer, right? Sometimes, when we're catching help, demons will hop on us and be like, the Most High's not dealing with you.
Yeah.
Look what's going on with you right now.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Fun.
And by the all the while, it's an experiment. Sometimes the Lord will leave you to see what you're going to do,
Fun.
right?
See if you're going to turn your back on
I'm used to a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You might have a bad season. You might have a bad 6 months. You might have a bad year. A couple of years, it says, you throw me into the whirlwind and destroy me in the storm. That's what your life feels like sometimes. It feels like a whirlwind. You know what I mean? Like a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and I know you are sending me to my death, the destination of all who live. Surely no one will turn against the needy when they cry for help in their trouble. It says, did I not weep for those in trouble? Was I not deeply grieved for the needy? So I look for good, but evil.
That's true too, because in the time of this, but that's the Lord, man. The Lord has you.
You might be right in that situation, but it doesn't matter right
Doesn't matter.
now.
Does not matter, man.
Right? Yeah, man. The Lord will have you. You're morally right, but you're the one catching hell.
Yeah.
You're catching hell. You're looking around like,
Fuck.
right? It says, I waited for the light.
A demon will hop by you, and you'll be like, no one cares.
Yeah, exactly. No one cares. Straight.
My heart in gloom without sunlight. I stand in the public square and cry for help. Instead, I am considered a brother to Jack. And a companion to ours. It says, my skin has turned dark and my bones burn with fever. My heart plays
the effect, I would feel release. That's why in the church they always use this scripture. You know, that's like their favorite scripture,
What
but they don't understand what it is.
Right.
They don't understand that we're actually in the shadow of God. Right? We're spiritually dead. They call us black.
Yep.
You know, like that's a big insult.
Yep. That's right.
They say depression is rage turned inward. You know, we're bad at this kingdom. You can't do shit.
Nothing.
Like we always say, we're being emasculated every fucking day, man. Every day, right? Every day, you know, your brothers go to the gym. You don't know who sat on that bench.
Correct.
Damn sodomite.
Correct.
A woman under a rag,
A woman and a rag.
right? You got to tolerate all these different backgrounds. So obviously, you're gonna be a testosterone graceful man.
Yep.
Because you're muted. You can't do shit.
I will fear no evil. Thou art with me, and thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence
It's
of
like you got one male cat who's not neutered, and a female cat who's chasing the neutered cat, and the neutered cat said, you know, hissing at him, doesn't want to deal with him, and the cat's like, what the fuck's going on? He's frustrated,
It's gonna
he's
drive
bugged
you
out,
mad.
you know.
Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup with water. So that's why Great Millstone, they're putting out content videos, and they have a bunch of oil, man. That oil is really known.
Yes.
You know, but these other camps is not. Like they don't have as much oil.
Hey, that's why in the time of the famine of the word, the unwise virgins are going to want oil, and we don't have none to give. It's time for you to get oil now, which is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Not then, when there's a famine of the word. In that time, we're going to be like pilgrims, right?
Surely good and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord.
You have to be very protective. Like, yo, this is precious.
Hey, you think in that time? You think in that time we're going to be walking around in our fringes? No, we're going to be low key. We're going to be undercover, man. Don't you? They shall be like madmen, spare none. Why would I want to walk around? Hey, I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. To who? Why would I want to do that? And they're going to demonize us in that day, man.
This is Matthew 25:8 in the NLT. It says, then the 5 foolish ones asked the others, please give us some of your oil because our lamps are going out. But the others replied, we don't have enough oil for all of us. Go to a shop and buy some for yourselves. But while they were gone to buy oil, the bridegroom came. And those who were ready went into the marriage feast, and the door was locked. So it's like Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark. Locked.
Wow. Or entry denied.
Yep, that's right.
This is Amos chapter.
You don't have the mark, or you have the wrong mark.
That's right. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine into the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Hamashiach Yahushai, or Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall their fair virgins and young men faint for thirst.
Hey, and it's already started with these laws. It's already started. It's not the full implementation of the famine of the word, but it already started because there's certain things you can't say. Censorship. They just took down one of my videos and gave me a flag. They gave me a strike. So that's what that's happening.
Oh yeah, they came up with the bill, the bill C-336, right?
Caught.
They're about to pass it and make it law.
Caught.
Eventually.
And I think it extends to all social media platforms.
Yeah, and it's all religious books.
Yes.
Yeah. You can quote off the Bible, so you quote off the Bible on the internet, and it's deemed, it will be deemed as hate speech.
Hate speech.
Yeah.
The famine of the word, right?
And that's the thing the brothers were saying. We don't know what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there.
Caught.
But the main thing is the breaking of communication, right? They call it telecommunication. It's not going to be a cell phone, right? News feeds, calling a WhatsApp calling somebody what's going on here. Like I said, getting just that information. That's going to be broken. And it's going to get spooky, man. Like your condition of life is going to change, man. Right? Your whole understanding of life in this time is going to change. Because your amenities are going to be different. chaos some places. Some places could be doing well.
Yes.
Could be like in that movie Civil War.
Yes.
Oh, we just don't talk about it. We don't talk about the war.
Yes.
You're shopping there in the store and shit,
Con.
right? But that's just going to contribute to the mass confusion. And then things are going to even more material.
That's right.
You know, like I said, you're going to see drones flying around, like all kinds of shit is going to happen.
Yep.
Army personnel moving.
Yep.
You know,
Foreign troops.
maybe you'll stumble upon a place and there's a bunch of corpses.
Yes.
So it's just going to get more dangerous, bro. More perilous, as you said, bro.
Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come from the Lord that I will send a famine in the land. A famine, not a famine of bread nor water, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north into the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. That's going to happen. There's not going to be no internet.
Hey, wasn't there a time when Noah was done? There was a time when Noah was done. He preached, and then there was a time where he said, okay, my job is done. So there's going to be a time when our job is done.
In that day shall the fair virgin and the young man faint for the thirst.
You're gonna have to be cautious in the forest, you know, making a fire. People can see that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Away. Yeah. And most people don't know how to make a fire, but they'll just throw anything. When you make a fire, if you use anything but dry wood, that shit's gonna smell big and smoke big. Wow. That's dry wood. And even if you're cooking now, you're putting meat on, that's another thing that people can smell.
Yep. And animals.
Animal soup, yeah. Especially animals. But people are going to be hungry, bro. Their senses are going to be, you know,
Right. Is that raccoon?
Jake's already eaten bear and all that in the south.
These guys eat
They
everything,
might
right?
eat anything. Alligator,
Possum, crocodiles,
alligator.
octopus.
And again, this time period between the Lord coming and where we were headed to right now, Jacob's trouble, it's a scourge for you people to punish you. It's a test, a trial for the elect as well to work them, to make them better and ultimately perfect in their bodies. You know, the elect have to go through things for them to be rewarded. You have to go through things to get a reward. You know, or else why would you get a reward? There's no participation there.
No.
There's a participation. No, you either make it or you don't. And you're called for your chosen. And you're called for your chosen. So you're gonna have to go through things, but the main reason also is for you people. You're gonna get scourged.
That's right.
You're gonna get scourged with the plague of famine, you know, of pestilence,
Damn.
right? Of violence, right? People just carrying out their wishes, man. You know, GTA. You know, like I was watching a back in the day video of GTA, I think the second one came out early 2000s, and they did a news coverage on it. They're like, you can do anything you want. You can shoot this person, you can do that. And people were like, yeah, you know, they want to. That was like a first time people wanted to do things like that. But people really want to do that in real life.
In real life. In real life.
Isaiah,
Complete anarchy.
Isaiah 13:14. Verse 14. And so,
Hey, that's why when they made GTA, you could pop the hooker.
That's what,
That's what they wanted to
That's what they're saying. You know, and they're showing the kids playing. They're like, yeah, shoot his head off. Yeah. You know.
Isaiah 13, verse 14. And it shall come to pass, and it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. And every one that is found shall be thrust through. So like total anarchy.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's gonna get real. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. In all those movies like Civil War, World War Z, whenever they got to like a military place, they're like, hey, what's going on in Kansas? Hey, do you know anything in Florida? Because people want to know. But like I said, communication, information, there's going to be gaps.
Yes.
Their children also shall dash their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
Yeah.
Your house shall be spoiled like a wide rampage. That's right. That's right. It's gonna get bad, bro. Get real bad. Yeah, a lot of these women are gonna be, because they're already being trafficked right now, but when all hell's gonna break loose, when your neighbor is gonna, it's gonna abduct them. It's gonna abduct them. Get abducted.
Lamentations 5, verse 9, NLT. We hunt for food at the risk of our lives, for violence rules the countryside. The famine has blackened our skin as though baked in an oven. Right, so we got this land back in where we're sitting. This time that's going to be no joke. Right? Violence is going to rule. It's going to be law of violence. Get down or lay down. It's going to be run your pockets. What do you got?
Yep.
What's in your bag?
Yep.
You know? Are you one of them or one of us?
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
And women, and you know, trophy women now are walking around half naked, hungry, fanned up, you know, talking about they made this amount of money, and that day they're going to want to be wearing hoodies and sweats and hiding out, man.
And they won't have those clothes. They only have sexy clothes. So in that time, they're done. They better get a potato sack. They only go to that, what's that company? Lululemon. Beer Lululemon. It's going to be the worst thing to wear in that day.
And on top of what you just said, the next thing they're going to be is hungry.
And that's literally going to be hungry.
But guess what? A lot of you women are not even going to be chosen, man. Because we already know what you what's the hell I'm going to be with a woman that has 50 bodies.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's a small number.
Yeah, that is a
that's
small
that's
number.
a small information.
Yep.
Yeah, smallest.
This is Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
Yeah, because there won't be no police. Right? They're gonna need an authority, a figure of authority, because there won't be no police. So that people are probably, oh, why is that gonna happen? Because there will be no choice. It's gonna go back to what a relationship was meant for. In this society, a relationship is optional because this is a metropolis.
Yep. And then women lost the
Respect.
but also the sense that they can have.
Yes.
Right? Because they're really, you know,
That urgency.
I'm a woman and a chaplain in access. I got pepper spray, I got great spray. But guess what? When civil order breaks down, a lot of the weirdos obviously will come out. And you're going to really need a man to keep you from those weirdos.
Yep.
You know? Like in the road, right? What do they want to know? What they're eating. What are people eating? You know, there's the scarcity of food.
Yeah.
You know, the guy rolled up on him. He had the gun pointed on him. He's like, what are you guys eating? He's like, whatever we can find.
Whatever you can find it.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14, from maybe 15. And God was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. Notwithstanding, shall she be saved in childbearing. Division 1 Timothy 2:9. So it says, woman instructed, like manner also that women adorn themselves on his apparel, with shamefacedness.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be covered up. At least for, like, people for Muslims, even though they're buffed up, their women are dressed modestly. So our women, like, if you want you're so-called following us and stuff, you're really supposed to be dressed up here, like modest. You're not supposed to be wearing pants and all this shit. That's right. So, like, that's totally out of order. I'm talking about shalom.
Yeah, you gotta reform yourself, just like we gotta reform ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, now I can see why the apostles mentioned things like shorts and can, and I can see how it's showing off your nakedness. Before I really couldn't see it, but when the Spirit, you know, got a bust on them, and then you just think about it. You know, people, you know, women look at you and it's just out of order. You know, married woman and all that shit. You know, but that's the society. It's a Greekish fashion.
Continue. So let me get the word modest from the Greek. Osmios. That means well arranged, seemingly modest, good behavior.
girls are all half naked. It's spring, the spring is coming up. The summer,
It's a little bit chilly.
these bitches are about to be like half naked out here. These women are really supposed to supposed to cover up. They're not supposed to be wearing those fucking cum umbrellas and all that bullshit. Fucking BBLs and all this shit. Wickedness.
It says,
We love
with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh woman professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with unsubjection. And I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp the authority of a man, but to be in silence.
So women are really supposed to follow their husband. Like they're not supposed to be they're not supposed to be that teachers and all that stuff. Like, I'm not trying to teach men. That's totally how the work.
It says,
So we're going to see, man, that Isaiah 4:1 is going to come, or that we're going to like judge, and we're going to because like we're not just going to get like any random like scallywag and shit. Like she has to bring something to the table.
And she sold.
Exactly.
And she got first aid. Like those are the things that are going to be beautiful. It's not going to be about what you look like. It's going to go too late.
That's right.
Go back to being a homemaker.
Yeah.
Adding value to home.
Yeah.
Not Amazon. Oh, I want to buy this off. Buy
No.
this on Amazon.
No nails,
You gotta do it.
no fake eyelashes, no fake hair.
What could be in that time?
Especially Eve.
Fucking
Eve,
shit.
man. They have the fucking, what do you call it? Mates front wing and all that shit. But they take like when they look like when all hell's breaking loose and they take off that lace wig and shit. You're gonna see these bitches. They're gonna be bald. It's gonna be a scary sight, man.
A lot of these young women are going to be useless.
Yes.
You might gravitate more toward the older woman because
That's right.
you can do those things of value.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of you young bitches who can't do that. So you're fucking useless.
I might get a cougar with that.
firstly, you want a woman who does not believe in what you believe in. That's going to be the first thing. So, because you believe in the name of the Lord, you can't be rolling with me and you don't believe in the Lord. In that time, especially. Because I need somebody who has some type of faith. Even though you women don't have faith, but you need to at least believe. Because the men that we had, the men of the Lord, in the Bible, you go into it, they choose. Go back to Isaac, go back to Jacob. They chose people who came out of their stock, came with good stock, who believed in the Lord. Right? Because Isaac would beget Rebecca. Rebecca, what? She went back to the son of God. That's who her line came back to. And they believed in the Lord, right?
But these women, they're going to conform to. Whenever if you choose a woman, she's going to have to conform to.
It's gonna be like in that. It's gonna be like that coming to America. That these women are gonna command. Are gonna like follow anything that you command.
Whatever you like.
This is verse 13. It says, the Adam was first born in Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
Yeah, that's why we all fell on Eve. Eve enticed, the serpent enticed Eve, and then Adam started following her ways. That's why we're in the situation going good and evil. Right? But now, we're hoping to obtain the tree of life, and we're going to be immortal, right? And we're not going to follow that evil way of life anymore.
That's right.
We're going to follow the real tree of life.
We'll literally be able to say we're perfect. Yes. People always say, yes, we're so perfect. Well, not now, but we will be. That's right. We'll be perfect. We'll literally be what a judge is supposed to be, which is what Yahweh was trying to set us. He was trying to set us up to rule the whole world. And we didn't get that. And we just as a fucking woman.
They start following these other nations and their gods.
And their kingship, because we wanted a kingship because of the other nations too, not understanding that kingship breeds contention. Look what happened to us during the Dark Ages. All infighting, man. All brother versus brother. Blood versus blood.
You're not going to have divorce in the kingdom. No? As the Lord said, He said, at first it was adventurous. So, but it was through the stubbornness of your heart, the hardness of your hearts.
That's right.
The Lord allowed that bill of divorcement. But originally He said it wasn't so. You were just one party.
Verse 15 it says, notwithstanding, she will be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
That's what happened. Like when the elect, like before our deliverance as both members of the elect, like we're gonna have a lot of children, like we're gonna have wives and stuff, and they're gonna be subject unto their husband, unto the elect husband.
Just to add on, your woman, it's not going to just be childbearing. She has to have the whole package. That's what it says. You have to have all these. She has to have all those qualities.
Yeah, she has
So
to
she
be
can
a
die
servant.
if she has a kid. For you, she could die if she ain't right.
Yeah, that's right.
That was it.
All praises due.
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Mekakadah.
The one crossing the great millstone. Listen, that's it, right? Kwame Nasrallah.
Nasrallah.
And
Abba Baba.
Shalom.
Shalom.